The morning started like any other for Adam Malik, the single dad who had mastered the art of juggling two worlds, one where he repaired broken office printers as a low-level technician, and another where he raised his 6-year-old daughter Amara with the soft, steady heart of a man who had known what it meant to lose everything but refused to stay broken. He walked through the glass doors of Dawson Enterprises, hoping today would be quiet, but fate had other ideas, because standing in the lobby, surrounded by a ring of panicked assistants, was none other than Miss Eliza Dawson, the famously cold, famously brilliant CEO whom the entire building feared to breathe incorrectly around. She was holding her phone, pacing, muttering something like, "This can't be happening. I can't go alone. They'll think I'm still the same person." And every assistant kept their distance, as if her frustration were fire. Adam didn't mean to stare, but the CEO suddenly lifted her head, and their eyes met, her sharp, worried gaze crashing into his calm, polite one, and for a moment it felt like she was trying to remember where she had seen him before. She tilted her head slightly as though assessing him, and that was the exact moment her assistant rushed to her side saying, "Mom, we have no suitable candidate on staff who—" But she raised her hand, silencing the room, and pointed at Adam. "What about him?" she said, and the assistant stiffened like wooden planks. Adam blinked, confused, holding a toolbox in one hand and a half-fixed printer component in the other. "Ma'am, he's just a technician," an assistant whispered carefully. "Exactly," she replied. "A normal human being, not someone trying to impress me, manipulate me, or apply to be part of our family fortune." Then she walked straight to him, heels clicking like a judge approaching her final verdict, and said the most unexpected sentence he had heard in years. "I need a boyfriend to meet my parents this weekend." Adam nearly dropped the screwdriver. "Excuse me?" he asked, thinking he'd misheard. "A fake one," she clarified, crossing her arms as if she was embarrassed by her own words. "I need to prove to my parents that I'm stable, happy, capable of connecting with someone, and that I'm not still holding onto a past they think I should have forgotten by now." Her voice cracked just slightly, so slightly. No one else would have caught it, but Adam did. The assistant stood behind her, nodding nervously as if this was a perfectly normal Tuesday morning request. Adam tried to speak, to say he wasn't qualified for pretending to date a CEO, but before he could, she added quickly, "I'll pay you handsomely. You'll only need to behave yourself, be presentable, and smile like a decent human being. And you do smile like one," she said the last part like she was making a factual business assessment, not giving a compliment. Adam felt heat crawl up his neck. "Ma'am, Miss Dawson, I have a daughter. I don't usually do things like this." She stared at him a long moment. "You're a father?" she asked, as though that changed everything, and surprisingly it did. Her expression softened, a rare sight no one in the company would have believed without photographic evidence. "Good, then you understand responsibility. Then you're safe." But before he could ask what she meant by safe, she exhaled sharply and said, "So, you'll do it, right?" And just like that, the entire lobby held its breath. Adam wasn't sure why he said yes. Maybe it was the tired desperation in her eyes. Maybe it was because he needed extra money for Amara's school fees. Maybe it was because life hadn't offered him an adventure since before his wife died, and something inside him quietly whispered, "Maybe you deserve one chance to feel alive again." Whatever the reason, he found himself nodding slowly. "I guess I'm your guy," he said. And the CEO, sharp, feared, untouchable Eliza, broke into the tiniest smile. The assistants almost fainted. Within seconds, she was dragging him to her office, giving orders, discussing outfits he needed to wear, booking a stylist, arranging a car, and explaining her parents' obsession with her having a normal relationship, all while Adam could barely process how 5 minutes ago he was fixing a jammed printer, and now he was apparently going to be the CEO's boyfriend for the weekend. She talked fast, but when she finally slowed down, she looked at him with unsettling sincerity. "There are a few rules," she said. Number 1, never contradict me in front of my parents. Number 2, if they ask how we met, say it was through a volunteer event. Number 3, don't fall in love with me. Adam choked on air. Why would I? No, I won't. Why's that even a rule? She lifted one eyebrow, cool and confident. Trust me. People tend to get ideas. He opened his mouth to argue, but she continued. And rule number 4, you cannot under any circumstance let them know this is fake. Adam nodded slowly, feeling a strange mix of fear, confusion and curiosity. All right, I can do that. But as he stood in front of her, with the skyline glittering behind her, office window, and her gaze locked onto his like she was trying to read every piece of his soul, he couldn't help but wonder what she was hiding beneath those rules. What made a woman like her, rich, brilliant, admired, intimidating, desperate enough to pull a random technician into her personal life? Why him? Why now? And why did she look scared? For a moment neither spoke. The room felt like it was tightening around them, pulling them into some invisible gravity neither of them could escape. Then her phone buzzed. She glanced at it and whispered, "My parents. They're excited. They think they'll finally meet the man who healed me." Adam frowned. Healed you from what? Her eyes turned slow and haunted. From a man I should have never loved. And with that, the story between them truly began, one neither of them expected, one neither could control, and one that would soon force both of them to face the pasts they'd spent years avoiding. As they stood there, two broken souls pretending to build a lie, fate was quietly weaving them into something real, something dangerous, something beautiful. And as the sun dipped behind the skyline, the CEO whispered almost too quietly to hear, "This weekend, don't let me fall apart."